Your grief must still be very, very raw. But I imagine knowing how strongly Julie felt has helped you to continue her message. Is that how it worked for you, Sophie?
Yeah, I think my mum, you know, she created a really big legacy in our family. You know, she was never negative about any of this. You know, she was always really positive, and the whole time she'd, you know, tell me and my brother that it was going to be all right. And, you know, up until the very end, until, you know, we had the final chat, and, you know, she said, OK, well, you're just going to have to go on without me now and things. But, you know, I promised that I'd look after my dad and my brother for her and clean the house. But, yeah, I think she created such positivity and happiness until the very end for us, yeah.
I think there's something extra heartbreaking about the fact that the very thing that she had devoted a big chunk of her life to, the NHS, appears to have let her down so badly.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, Julie, she went for the smear test back in 2014. That was misdiagnosed, mistreated. It was unfortunate. We had to go to private. We had to go to a private consultant to get the cancer diagnosis. We've been campaigning for the last 2 years for an independent review. However, the hospital now have decided to do a partially independent review. I mean, they're only covering the investigation itself. And I say this is not about the blame. This is about ensuring that we have a safe and effective cancer screening process within Southmead North Bristol Trust, and also ensuring there's no more victims out there.
What was your reaction, your and Julie's reaction, when the private consultant turned around and said, this is cancer, and yet you'd been trying for years or been told by...
We've been told they had multiple opportunities to intervene. I say the smear, and it was blatantly all over. It was full of cancer cells all over. We sent the smears and the biopsies off for independent analysis. They came back as riddled with cancer cells. No, it was unreasonable that anybody would have missed it. But the hospital was still in denial. So when we were told, I mean, backwards and forwards, I say there was lots of clinical examinations, and we were just, you know, dumbstruck when we were told at the private hospital.
The hospital has accepted responsibility,
Negligence, yes.
Of negligence.
Yes.
And we don't want to get into a naming individuals.
Absolutely.
But what did go wrong?
Well, for me, I believe it went wrong. Back in history, back in 2014, 2012, the board of directors and the CEO failed to put in place effective corrective actions and recommendations from previous reviews. This is not the first time that cervical cancer has failed within North Bristol Trust. There has been, you know, previous occurrences. If the board of directors had put in place effective corrective actions from them previous reviews, Julie would still be alive.
Have they acknowledged that as well?
No, and that's the frustration. I say I'm not angry, and I say because that's not going to help us, not going to help Julie. You know, frustrated. We would just like an independent public inquiry, and it has to be truly independent. Whether that's on Julie's death certificate, it says Julie died from cervical cancer, which had metastasised, but that was only the cause. You know, that was the end. But secondary to that, Julie died because the board of directors failed to implement corrective actions, and the misdiagnoses from the, you know, while they are accountable, the pathologist and gynaecologist have to take responsibility because it was blatantly all over them slides, and it was all over the smears. But again, we need to look forward. You know, we need to ensure that we have a safe and effective cancer screening, and cervical smears do save lives, and We've had a statement from the North Bristol NHS Trust. This was a statement they released on Julie O'Connor's stream, saying that we are committed to understanding the full circumstances of the care we provided so we can improve our services for the future, and we will be publicly open with the overall findings of the independent investigation we have commissioned. You don't feel it's independent enough? Absolutely not. No, because they define it's commissioned by the Trust. It was the terms of reference, which I sat down with the board before, and I did input some of it. They haven't taken all the recommendations. I'm looking for a wider review into, are there more victims out there? They're looking at very specific from July. The private hospital raised a red flag back in March when it was first highlighted. The hospital chose to ignore that, so they failed to investigate from the offset, which is a violation of the regulations for a start. They failed in their duty of candour to notify us. They want to do the review from July 2017, which is not good enough. They need to go back 2014 to ensure, are there other victims out there?
It certainly sounds reasonable to expect it to be a broader, independent review, certainly. Sophie, I mean, one of the things that comes across in all the pictures that we see with you and your mum and your family was what a vibrant and passionate woman she was. What was she like as a mum?
Just really funny. You know, there was never like a moment in my life where I don't remember her making, you know, things better and, you know, making me laugh. I can be a bit of a drama queen, and she always kind of brought me down to earth a little bit. So yeah, and just a really caring mum. You know, I think there'll always be like a mum-shaped hole, you know, in our life now. But you know, she's taught me and my brother, you know, I think good values and things to keep
to go forward.
To keep going forward.
And looking after your brothers, particularly, and keeping the house clean.
Yeah.
Well,
I love that. Was one of her things. I think they could take some responsibility for that as well, by the way.
Well, you seem to have a lot of love left between you and for the rest of the family, so we wish you well with dealing with your own personal loss and also your campaign to try and make things better for everyone.